probably make another $1 billion on all of the brilliant businesses that he's involved in.
No doubt.
Which is amazing. And shout out to Smalls for the interaction at that big basketball dinner that she hosted the other night with Magic Johnson. Unsportsmanlike is presented by Progressive Insurance. Progressive can help you protect your home, auto, boat, motorcycle, ATV, and RV, and more. And if something wasn't mentioned that you had in mind, find out if it can be covered at Progressive.com or 1-800-PROGRESSIVE, because it probably can be. Magic probably enjoyed watching the play-ins last night. More unbelievable matchups, unbelievable games. Philly beats Orlando last night, 109-97.
VJ Edgecombe, Tyrese Maxey, man. Listen, I will say this, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful to Joel Embiid because you're talking about a former MVP, but this team leaning all the way into Tyrese Maxey and VJ Edgecombe in terms of their play spot, their play style, and their play speed, I just think that they can pose some problems. They can make it scary for Boston in round one. I'm not saying that they're going to make it a long series or anything, but this Sixers team continuing to forge an identity around those two, I think that they've got something really, really special.
If I tell you that Embiid hypothetically is cleared for the series, do you think Philly has a chance to win?
No, I don't think that the Sixers have a chance to win. I'm just going to say this. The way that they play, the way that they get up and down the court, that matters. And I just think that brings out the best in Tyrese Maxey. It brings out the best in VJ Edgecombe. Clearly, it brings out the best in Paul George. I just think it's a better version of the Sixers. Tyrese Maxey talked about it postgame. They play hard as hell.
Yeah.
That's who they want to be.
Good.
I don't know that that's the case all the time when Joel Embiid is on the court.
It's a horrible thing that I'm about to say, but it's the nature of the beast. If you're the Philadelphia 76ers, you got to make Jason Tatum run as much as possible. I hate to say it that way.
I would agree with you.
I mean,
wear him out because of the injury.
I mean, I feel terrible saying this, but your job is to win. He's cleared to play. You have to assume he's not 100%. And if you're going to be a fast up and down team like Philadelphia is, you got to make sure that guy, zero, is up and down. Put him into switches to make sure that he is going to run around the court as if he's guarding Rip Hamilton or Reggie Miller back in the day, and you're just chasing in circles and make it uncomfortable for him. Not to injure him. That's not what I'm saying, obviously. I'm saying where Joe Mazzulla may say, I got to take him off the floor a couple of times. It's not fair to this guy, and get him off the floor.
Yeah, we're gonna check the gas tank.
Yeah, I mean,
we're gonna see if he's ready for playoff intensity. If he's in playoff conditioning, we're gonna check that.
No question.
But even if they do that, do you think that they have a chance to beat the Celtics? Even if that's the strategy and they execute it.
I will say this.
With Embiid, I do.
With Tyrese Maxey and VJ Edgecombe, there will be zero back down to the Boston Celtics. And we saw that first game of the season this year. So there will be zero back down. VJ Edgecombe is not afraid of the moment. He's proven that over and over again. But now you're seeing it postseason. And then, of course, we know what Tyrese Maxey is. So, yeah, I just think that it'll be a fun series to watch. Boston will inevitably win it. But this will be a fun series to watch because I do think we'll see a coming of age for both Tyrese Maxey and VJ Edgecombe.
Per Nuno on DraftKings, Boston -900 to win this series.
Yeah, they're going to win the series.
Well, there's a value bet then on Philly to win the series. There could be some money to be made, potentially, hypothetically, if Philadelphia were to win the series. The other game last night, Golden State, we've been talking about it. Go back on the podcast if you missed the first hour of the show. Golden State advances, and they eliminate the Clippers. Reminder, the Clippers do not have their own draft pick. That goes to Oklahoma City. The Clippers would get the Pacers pick if it's between 5 and 9 in the lottery. But Golden State wins 126-121. The Warriors were down as many as 13 in the fourth quarter. Steph Curry with 35 points in 36 minutes. Kristaps Porzingis was great with 20 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. Guy Santos with 20 points in the game last night. But Al Horford with the 14 points, 4 threes in the fourth quarter was tremendous. And the storyline that everyone's been talking about is Draymond Green and his Hall of Fame level of defense. He has never dropped off. Draymond Green is an elite all-time defender, one in which that Steve Kerr last night after the game said that is the greatest defender I have ever seen. A reminder, he played with Scottie Pippen, Michael Jordan, and Dennis Rodman. He also played with David Robinson and Tim Duncan. That is something to be said, and it is absolutely fair to compare Draymond to the greatest defenders of all time. Warriors advance. They will go on the road to face the Suns to try to get the 8th seed, which then means you play the Oklahoma City Thunder in the first round of the playoffs. In addition, we are 1 week out of the NFL draft. We will be there in Pittsburgh next Thursday. thanks to Pella Windows and Doors, 5-Hour Energy, ZipRecruiter, and Marriott Bonvoy. And there's a storyline that is developing around this draft that picks may be on sale. That's the storyline. What in the world do I mean by that? Well, let's hear from Adam Schefter, ESPN senior NFL insider, who joined us in studio on Tuesday from 6:45 to 7:45 a.m. He was amazing. Go back on the pod and listen. And here's what Adam had to say about teams looking to trade back in the draft and maybe the value to trade up.
There are going to be a lot of trade back candidates. So if you're the Dallas Cowboys and you're sitting there, can you find a trade back candidate with the compensation that you can live with and move up and get an elite defensive player here?
So just side note of that, is there value now to trade up because the price may be lower since no one else is trading?
Well, I think there is a little bit. And I think teams that are willing to move back know that they're not going to get the premium prices that they've gotten in other years because there aren't a lot of quarterbacks available. It's not going to be a huge difference, but I think the price to trade up this year is probably 10% off.
CC, Smalls wasn't here when that happened on Tuesday. She was hanging out with Magic Johnson at big basketball events. But when Adam said that, you and I both kind of perked up and said, that's interesting. 10% off to trade up of what it normally is. Was there a team or are there teams that came to mind for you when Adam said that of take advantage of the discount prices to trade up?
Yeah.
Contending type teams maybe?
Contending. I mean, the Dallas Cowboys.
People think they're contenders.
Yeah, I think people think they're contenders, and I do think that they've got eyes toward a playmaker on the defensive side of the ball. Sonny Styles, his name has come up. So I could see the Dallas Cowboys trying to make a move inside the top 10. Remember, they've got 12 and 20. They've got a lot of draft capital over the next 2 years by virtue of the Michael Parsons trade. So I do think there's a world that exists where the Cowboys try to move up to get a playmaker that can make an impact day one. So I would look at the Dallas Cowboys as a trade-up team. We typically don't associate with Jerry Jones with moves up. It's usually moves back, if anything. But I think the Dallas Cowboys in this year's draft, because of where the team sits, the timeline with Dak Prescott and all of the key actors, they can be aggressive and make a move up.
Is there anybody else that you guys would see? Sonny Styles, linebacker, Ohio State would be a target you just brought up. Any other teams that you could sit there and say, if it's 10% off and maybe this guy's still available, I could see them moving up?
What about the Eagles?
Go ahead.
Well, if we're talking about somebody who finds value and is going to say, a discount here, why don't I make a move? A team that might be moving on from A.J. Brown post June 1. Couldn't you see Howie Roseman trying to make a deal and realizing that he could do something at a discount knowing that he's got moves down the road?
I could, but I need to ask a follow-up. The Philadelphia Eagles have the 23rd pick in the draft this year. Are they drafting for them or are they drafting for the Patriots? No, I'm serious.
Because
the A.J. Brown trade, which people assume is New England, there's no guarantee it actually is New England, right? But people assume it could be New England. Would be for a first rounder, we assume. Would it be for this year's first rounder? And if so, who's making that pick? Because, Smalls, if you're saying, hey, they may see value in a trade up because of the discount, that may not be their call. Or maybe does New England dictate, hey, I don't even know how you would do this. Like, go get that pick. We're going to then make another trade with you. I don't know how that's going to happen. But this is a lingering thing because this trade, while it can technically happen draft night, it is not advantageous for Philadelphia to trade him draft night. It is way more advantageous for them to trade him after June 1st because of the salary cap hit. So I guess it is on the board for any team that you think is an A.J. Brown possibility that they would be drafting a player for the Eagles, right? I mean, technically that's on the board, is it not?
Yeah, I mean, I think it absolutely could be on the board. But, I mean, the team that you mentioned on the other side of that A.J. Brown deal, the New England Patriots, they got 11 draft picks this year. Could we see them trying to trade up from 31 to potentially get their hands on a pass rusher? To me, that makes a ton of sense. I mean, Clavon Chason, they let him walk in free agency. They did bring in Draymond Jones. But you can never have enough pass rushers, especially edge pressure guys. And this draft is chock full of them. So
I was thinking Caleb Downs if he slips.
Could we see the New England Patriots do? Well, Caleb Downs, I don't think is moving out of the top 10.
He's the safety Ohio State previously at Alabama.
I don't think he's sliding out of the top 10. But you do have an opportunity to get an impact playmaker, especially an edge rush guy. So could that be something that the